Having good operators in your business is a must. In fact, if you're looking at acquiring a business and you don't have an operator, the deal should be dead. You shouldn't do it. So today we're having a conversation with Ana Santiago. She's the COO of Outsource School. But what makes her story so different from everyone else is that she started as a general VA in the Philippines, and she rose through the ranks to becoming the COO of a well-established company. We're going to have conversations about what it's like as her being the COO in this role where she still lives in the Philippines. The team is all throughout the world, and she manages them, and they're growing rapidly. I love the conversation that Ana was able to bring and share insights and tips that I think will help you as a business owner. So regardless of where you are in the growth cycle, having great operators, processes and procedures, and things in place to help your business grow is a must. And that's what you're going to get from this interview today.
Hey everybody, I'm Ana Santiago, current COO of Outsource School. I manage a remote team of 15 plus virtual assistants.
Ana, this is going to be an incredible conversation because most of the time we're having conversations around growth, and that may be through marketing or to be acquisitions or strategic partnerships or whatever that may be. We're handling growth a totally different way. And because you're a part of Outsource School, which I'm also involved with, I think I was one of the first members of Outsource School.
Yes, you were.
I love it that much.
Yeah.
And I've had both Nathan Hirsch and Connor Gillivan on the podcast. Well, you're now the COO of Outsource School, yet you started as a general VA just a few years ago. So we're going to be talking about how you did it.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Excellent. So first, let's cover the basic pieces of what you did, where you were as a general VA and when you did that. And then let's go through what that learning pattern and what your ascension in that entire process was.
Yeah, totally. So I actually started about 10 years ago. So I was still a college student when I started looking for clients I could work for between classes or, after class. I tried as much as I could to start supporting myself. So I started with general admin tasks. I was always a bit obsessive compulsive when it comes to organizing things and making certain charts and making sure that I have a list for everything. So that's where it started. And I found some clients that took a chance on me and they taught me parts of their business. So some lines of business I work for are e-commerce businesses and personal development coaches, web development, web design. I also was in the call center industry for a little time and did some customer support for tech company based in the UK. But with all this experience, it really teaches you the different moving parts of different types of companies. And so I learned a lot there. I mean, even just with the web development companies and the e-commerce businesses, I learned how to take care of their businesses, listing items, doing search engine optimization, making sure that they get a good audience for their items, making sure that we had stocks available for them to purchase, customer support, returns, refunds, things like this. And I think a lot of business operations are similar, even if they do, if they have different systems and processes in place. And all you really need to do is pay really good attention to the details, making sure that you take care of your customers. That is key. Communicating with your entire team. And I've always been passionate about serving businesses, getting a relationship going with my clients, making sure that they have everything that they need. Through the years, I've had several clients, and I just think Nathan and Connor are my favorite because they're the only ones that gave me the growth that I was looking for throughout the years. They viewed me not just as an employee, but as a friend as well, someone that is close to them, and we talk about things outside of the business, and they hone my potential, and that is how I became COO. It's not because of just my experience, although I do have quite a bit, but also because they pushed me to reach that potential and gave me trust and responsibility. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you mentioned one thing in there, which is growth. And
Yeah.
one of the questions, and just to kind of give you as a listener an inside view, what Outsource School does is they are a group of people that have put together the very best systems and processes for growing your business and scaling it appropriately. And so what that means is they have standard operating procedures in place. They have what they call these playbooks, and you can pick and choose on the playbook that will help you grow your business. And so, for example, in all of the playbooks, when you're hiring someone, they have a list of questions to ask. Now, you said something about growth, and one of the questions in the playbook is when you're talking with a new candidate, you say, "Hey, are you more interested in money or growth?" And obviously, you were interested in growth. And so let's dive into that. Like, first off, do you find that most virtual assistants actually feel that way? Or are they just giving lip service because that's like the way that they should answer the question?
You never know. But from my experience and with the virtual assistants I've worked with, I would say that growth is definitely more important. It's very important to ask this question up front because I've met clients where their long-term virtual assistant left them because they didn't have growth in place. They weren't appreciated. They weren't being taught on top of their skills or on top of their current workload. So, like, for example, I was with an e-commerce client for 3 years. For 3 years, I was doing the same exact thing day in and day out. And it's demotivating. I had so many great ideas for this client. I wanted to be part of other areas in their business, and I proactively told him this. And he was like, "Now let's revisit that in the future." All I wanted, and all virtual assistants, the ones that crave for stability, all they want is to be a part of a family. All they want is to be able to build these relationships. And once I found that, and once other virtual assistants find this, they would never want to leave you, even if they're offered a higher paying job. I mean, I can't count how many times other clients have offered me a COO or an operations manager position for more money to leave Nathan and Connor. I'm like, very flattering, but no, thank you. I think I found where I belong. And I told Nathan and Connor, if they have any plans of selling Outsource School, they better take me with them because I don't want to work for anybody else. And this is exactly how you want your virtual assistants to feel. You want them to feel that the business is their own. You want them to feel part of the family. You want them to not leave you, to value what you're teaching them and value the position that they have.
Yeah, you make a great point. The candidates that we've interviewed in our own organization, we've found that they want growth. Now, they want to be a part of something bigger, what you're mentioning. And you're in this role of the COO. I mean, you're managing a team of different people throughout the world. You're helping these people grow. We're getting a rare glimpse of that because in the traditional sense of business, we're, founders, owners that have an idea. We ignite that idea. We start it, we validate it. And then what may happen is someone in our intimate organization, typically close at hand, tends to be the COO, or maybe that could be one of the co-founders. But this model is different, and it's rare what you're talking about, because you went from a virtual assistant role where you're not in the same location as the founders of the company, and you're helping the other team members. So help us understand a little bit more, because we want to understand that operator role. And I'm trying to help listeners realize that they don't have to approach it the same way of, if you're a US based company, you have to have a US based operator, or if you're a company, the operators have to be nearby. So help us understand that.
That is one of the most common hoaxes of virtual assistants. Anything that you do from your computer, anything that you can do remotely, a virtual assistant can do. And I mentioned earlier that there are different types of virtual assistants, depending on their specialty. All you have to do is have proper systems and processes in place. You have a good task list. You know exactly what you need to outsource. And of course, we can help you with the basics, listing down the tasks you want to outsource, the repetitive daily, weekly, monthly stuff. And then it can start getting more complex than that. People to handle your social media, content writing, video editing, graphic design, bookkeeping even. But you start with the small first. Build a relationship there, build the trust there, get comfortable working with each other. So we don't really recommend you hiring a full team if you're not really used to hiring virtual assistants. Dip your toe in the water first. So start with the general tasks so that you can outsource even just 5-10 hours a week. What would you do with an extra 5 or 10 hours a week? Scale your business even more. Think of another project. Use it for spending more time with your family. I mean, that in itself is important already. And then, of course, from there, from your first virtual assistant, once they get a hang of your systems and processes, what your business is about, you start teaching them or giving them more responsibility. So that's what Nathan did with me. He trusted me more. He gave me bigger tasks. And once we had lots more tasks to do, we hired a second virtual assistant. And then I trained that assistant because I was familiar with the business. I knew exactly how Nathan and Connor wanted things done. I created SOPs for things that I mastered. And then I passed over the SOPs to the virtual assistant. And the beauty of it is you can just keep doing that. So as your team grows, you have the more veteran assistant pass over SOPs, train the virtual assistants. You're completely hands off at that point. But of course, still be there to support them if they have any questions or give them more tips on how to do something. Don't be disconnected from your team, even if you have a reliable team lead in place. So that's essentially how I became team lead. And then we started hiring more. I would pass down more tasks to the VA next to me, and they would pass on the more simpler, repetitive tasks to the newer VAs. And it's just a complete cycle. And then, of course, the more complex, newer tasks, Nathan and Connor give to me first to master, to create a good process, the best way I can possibly do the certain task. I create the SOPs for it, I pass it off. It's just a cycle. Promote from within your team. So I don't recommend that you guys go out and find an operations manager, snap of a finger. It doesn't really work that way. Although you can, yes, there are a lot of operation managers or team leads that you can hire. But it's better if you hire from within because they would know exactly how you like things done and they're passionate about the business already. And from there, you can help them hone their other skills. So it just so happened I just got lucky because I had so many other skills that I learned before meeting Nathan and Connor. But there are a lot of great virtual assistants out there that have untapped potential, and all they really need is for someone to guide them, to give them goals to meet each week, give them goals to meet each month. And that's why meeting with your virtual assistants on a weekly or monthly basis is very important. Get them to understand the goals that you have with your business, be very open with them. Things that are going wrong and things that are going right, appreciate them for their hard work, and they'll be motivated to work even harder for you. And before you know it, you have someone that can run your operations, that can treat the business as their own. That is basically what happened with me.
That's pretty incredible. I want to get into the different roles and things that you do inside the company because I think it'd be helpful. But before we do that, you were talking about spotting good virtual assistants, and you're saying, hey, you don't need to go out and hire someone that's already a tried and true operator, someone that's already a COO. You can actually promote from within. So how do you spot talent?
Nathan and Connor came up with a really great process. It's called our CARE interview process. It has all of the questions that you should ask during an interview, focuses on red flags, focuses on communications and attitude over experience. Of course, experience is important. You can't leave out the experience, but no matter how skilled your virtual assistant is, if they don't have the right attitude and they can't really communicate with you well, it's never going to work out in the long run. And I've had experiences like this. They'll keep questioning why you try to give them constructive feedback. It makes sense. They won't take it. They'll think that they're better than that, and you'll usually get issues there. So we recommend you focus on communication and attitude, and if they're willing to grow. Now that in itself is a sign of a rockstar virtual assistant. And also, you can see this within the first months. They take initiative. They're proactive. They constantly ask questions. They want to know more about the business. They want to get involved more, not just the daily tasks that they do. Make sure that you set expectations with them up front of what you're looking for, what the responsibilities are, what you expect them to do. Tell them that you value their ideas and welcome questions. And then from there on out, just keep giving them a little nudge, because usually something that other people don't understand about VAs or from the Philippines generally is that they're shy, and they've usually had bad experiences with other clients where they're not allowed to ask questions, or their client just gets really mad if they do something that the client didn't tell them to do. So, usually for me, I just go in and clear out Nathan's inbox or fix his calendar before he even gets up in the morning. And to him, that's great. He loves it. But other clients are just, they don't see the value of having virtual assistants that can think for themselves and virtual assistants who have great ideas. So just encourage your VAs to do this, and you'll see early on if they leadership material.
Ooh, I love it. That's great. So tell us about your role as the COO. What does your day look like? And we want to get a snapshot so that listeners that are trying to find someone that's an operator, they can say, oh, okay, I should have some reasonable expectations and their day should look like this.
It's not really a one formula fits all type. It depends on what you need, and it depends on your operations. Okay, so for me, I have a hybrid schedule just because I don't really need to take client calls, or I don't really need to do customer support much. So I have a hybrid schedule where I can spend half of my day on a flexible schedule whenever I want to work to get things done. And then I have the half day where I overlap with Nathan and Connor's working hours. So usually Eastern time mornings, sometimes an hour or two in the afternoon if there's a lot that needs to get done. And this is exactly what you need to do. But for example, if you're hiring for customer service, then of course, most likely you need them within your business hours. But the hybrid schedule works for operations that is outside, the calls and customer support and things like that, sales, because we get to do the work on our own time. We're more comfortable, and it just really works out, and we prefer that. So VAs would appreciate that option. And okay, moving on to one more thing. Always part-time or full-time, always have an overlap with your virtual assistant schedule. Don't let them work the full full schedule on flexible time. Have the overlap so you can still have meetings with them so that they're around for you if you need anything. That's important. And so that you can build the relationship with them as well. Again, I focus on building the relationship with them. It is very, very important. And you will see great results from just that. And my task load. Yes. Okay. So I mentioned earlier that I help take care of a team of about 15 plus virtual assistants, and they're all from different departments. So I know 98% about the business. Nathan and Connor are very open with me about what happens. So my job is to make sure that the marketing team is doing okay, that they got the content out, they're posting, they're doing the research, they're doing their outreach every day. My job is to check on the sales team. How many calls do we have scheduled? What happened in your last call? Did you get any challenges or out of the blue concerns? Do they need another call? I'm free to hop on another call or a free coaching session if they need to. My job is to just make sure the daily operations with everyone is okay, no matter if Nathan or Connor are around. And a great example is Connor's taking a leave for 2 weeks because he's getting married this weekend. And so they told me like, hey, Anna, have the Monday morning meetings with the team. You're in charge. Make sure that marketing does this, make sure that accounting checks on the payments coming in or recurring, the billing, make sure that the sales team gets a good amount of calls booked, make sure that Simply SOP stuff. Well, no, not Simply SOP because we have Grace for that. But my point is I'm in touch with everybody on the team. I know what everybody is doing and I trust them. I don't micromanage. I check in on them and see if they're doing okay, if they still love their job, if there's anything that we can do to make their lives easier, if there's any other part in the business that they want to work, just to make sure that they stay motivated. My job is to support the whole team and make sure that they all know how their pieces fit together. And that's how all the teams should be structured. So that if I'm out or if someone else on my team is out, someone else can step in and say, hey, yeah, I know exactly what Grace was working on before she got sick. I can take it over. Or yeah, I'm happy to take a sales call because I've listen to some of the calls and I'm confident that I can help someone out. Keep being open and honest with your team and make sure that they know all the moving parts within the business, no matter what their role is. Make sure that they know what goes on in different areas.
For you to understand the business that well and to, realize there's a lot of moving pieces and have it move across very effortlessly shows that your processes are bulletproof, that you've got a great culture within the organization. That starts with the fundamentals, the foundation, which is what you guys talk about at Outsource School. So if you could take a minute and talk about Outsource School, explain what you guys do, that would help our listeners understand that foundation.
Outsource School focuses on three main things. The first being we help you hire rockstar virtual assistants quickly. We help you master outsourcing quickly with our easy to implement systems and processes. A lot of our stuff is plug and play, people. All you got to do is download our PDF and just incorporate it within your business. I mean, we have a list of interviewing questions that you can ask. And not just that, we have a very well built out system to help you from the very beginning, just preparing you to hire all the way to the very end. What kind of meetings you need to hold, how to give bonuses and raises, or how to fire a virtual assistant if needed. And that's just the fundamentals. We have 20 plus other playbooks and formulas that revolve around the operations side of the business as well as the marketing side of the business. The second thing that we focus on is save you time to focus on the more important parts of your business or again for your personal life. And the third being is we help you avoid costly turnover, hiring mistakes. Turnover kills businesses. Nathan and Connor spent 10 years mastering how to outsource and they wasted tens of thousands of dollars into trying to do it because they thought it was that easy. But then they came up with Outsource School, and now they're helping entrepreneurs save time, save money, to build out your business with the help of virtual assistants. Different areas. You'd be surprised at how much a virtual assistant can actually help you do. I mean, look at me. I'm doing podcasts for Nathan. If you guys are interested in joining us, I have a special offer for you. You guys get a 20% off for our yearly plan and a free Care Plus service where I and another teammate of mine will write the job post description for you, look for candidates for you, interview for you, and we'll give you the recommendation that we ourselves would hire if we were in your shoes. I got high expectations when I do the interviewing. So if you guys are interested, offer is the free Care Plus offer is only applicable if you guys schedule a call with me so that I can make a custom plan or help you with your personal challenges. Otherwise, the 20% is for everybody, whether or not you schedule a call. So Spencer has all the details. Feel free to let him know if you need to get in touch with me. My email address is anna@outsourceschool.com. That's ANA@outsourceschool.com.
This is amazing. And for you listeners, the Outsource School, as I mentioned, I'm a paying member. I wasn't gifted this. I'm happily paying because I get so much value from it. And their Care Plus is absolutely amazing because they help you find the right candidates. And if you're getting started, that's probably the way to go, to have someone put the training wheels on and go about it with you. Anna, it was seriously a pleasure having you on the podcast today. I think our listeners were able to get an insight that they simply can't get anywhere else. So thank you for being a guest on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a pleasure, and I hope to see you again soon.